Hello students. In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the Week 6 project. So a lot of students have been using the wrong data sets for the assignments. So it's important that you use this one. And this is the one you downloaded and renamed in Week 1. So this is the one that has all the recall variables, and it has ethnicity, sex, age, all that. So this is the data set you're using. And you're going to go to the Week 6 project data, go to that worksheet. And what you're going to do for this assignment, you're going to, and keep in mind this is all in the assignment description, so you should read this over. It says, suppose you have information that the average stress score of students in online universities is 13.5. You're to use Excel and compute a one-sample t-test to find out whether the stress scores reported by your sample, so that would be these people, are significantly different from those of the population of online students. And with this, again, you're comparing your sample to a known population of 13.15. And so what you'll have to do first is to get the descriptive statistics for the stress score. And we've done this previously, but I'll go over it again. It's just data, and then data analysis. You want to click on descriptive statistics and click OK. And then your input range is going to be, it's A1 through A73. So that's the input range. So you might not be able to see this, but I typed A1 colon A73. So we also want to click labels in first row and then pick somewhere for your output. I'm just going to have it in C, so it's going to be in C1. And then we want summary statistics, so click that, and then click OK. And just a little tip to help you out. I always double check to make sure I didn't make some mistake with the formula and that I used all the participants. So the count will tell you that. So the count is 72. So we have 72 people in the study. If you have a number different than that, it means you did something wrong when you typed the formula and you didn't include everyone. So I always look at that and double check. So we did this formula in the Week 6 midweek assignment. But again, you're going to calculate the t-statistic, so that's t equal. I'm going to type that in one cell and then move over to the next one to type the formula. So the formula, you're going to put it in parentheses. So it's equal, and then within parentheses, you have your sample mean, which as you can see is 12.22. You can round it 2 places. Minus the population mean. So from the assignment description, it's 13.15. And then we want to divide it by the standard error of the mean, not the standard deviation, but the standard error of the mean. So in this case, mine is 0.84, or sorry, it's going to be that for everyone. So the standard error of the mean is 0.84. So you can round to 2 decimal places. Okay, so you're taking your sample mean, 12.22, minus the population mean of 13.15, dividing it by the standard error, and then hit enter. So this is our critical, sorry, not critical value, but this is our t statistic. So again, we compare that to the critical value of t from the table. And I'm just going to type critical value here. And then again, we want to know our degrees of freedom. So remember, degrees of freedom abbreviated DF equals n minus 1. And in this case, n is 72. We have 72 people in the study. So 72 minus 1 equals 71. So that's our degree of freedom. And again, this is going to be a two-tailed test because it just says we want to find out whether the stress scores reported by the sample are different, significantly different. So we don't say less than or greater than. We're just saying we want to see if it's different. So that's a two-tailed test. And then we'll go to our table again. And remember, I'll just go up there so you can see it again. But proportion of two tails, we want to go to the column that's 0.05. And then for degrees of freedom, we're not going to find it because, as we saw in the midweek assignment, it skips around, it skips some values. But we want to get the closest value to degrees of freedom of 71. So we're going to follow this column down, the 0.05 column, and the closest value in the table would be 60. So we can see that 2.0 is the critical value of t. And I'm just going to type that here next to critical value. And if you have this situation where it looks like things are cut off in the cell, you can just go up in between columns and just click that, double click it, and it makes the column a little bit bigger. Like we had the standard error was cut off a little bit. And it's just the default size for the column isn't big enough to show all of it. And you can just go between the columns and click that. So we want to take the absolute value of this and compare it to the critical value of 2. And so we want our t statistic to be greater than the critical value. So the absolute value of this, remember the absolute value is you just ignore the positive or negative sign and just look at the number. So 1.107 is not greater than the critical value of 2. So again, you're going to, let me just look at this again. Yeah, I think for this assignment, you don't need to copy and paste. Oh, yeah, it does. It says move your output into Microsoft Word document. So what you're going to do is just select it all like we did in the midweek assignment. You just select all this information and just click copy, go to the Word document and paste it. And then for the Word document, you're also going to write an interpretation of the results. So again, that's similar to what you did for the week 6 midweek assignment, and it's similar to this. But keep in mind that this isn't involving age. So the week 6 project involves stress. That stress score, it doesn't involve age. So, just be careful when you're using this as an example that you just don't copy it. You actually type the information that's relevant to what you actually did. Because in this case, our sample mean was not significantly different than the population mean. So, just make sure you write this in the correct way if you're using the example. And then again, use a properly formatted title page. There are points allocated towards APA formatting. So if your title page isn't correct, look at the grading rubric, but you basically are losing 2 points per assignment. And the title page is something easy. You only need to format it once. And in this case, you don't really even need to format it. I formatted it for you, and then all you need to do is to put your name, the title of the paper, and the date, just change the specific information. And that should be easy enough to do. No one should be losing points because of that. So that's what you need to do for the assignment. And in this case, we would fail to reject the null hypothesis. So that means we would not reject it because our sample mean is essentially the same as our population mean. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about this.